Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of I Fucked Around and Found Out. If you didn't know, on December 17th, the year ended with a bang, with me getting suspended, or not necessarily suspended, but essentially having my main account on Twitter just fully reach limited because it was mass reported, flagged, and now has like a label on it. This label is permanent. It doesn't go away. I tried to appeal. I tried to reach out. I tried to do literally anything to get like some info on it. The only thing that I didn't do was legal action, I guess, but I cannot afford that. So GG's me. Also, I'm not in America, so GG's me. But yeah, I got, targeted for my free speech. I said words and it kind of blew up. It was like in the whole like Asmongold situation and like him, threatening to, I don't know, use governmental, like, political violence against me in order to get me, get people like me removed who talk about gender ideology to children. So there was like an entire shit show. All of these things blew up. I made a video about it, right? Like, I have this video here. It's about, like, free speech. It's not necessarily just about Twitter. The start of it is just Twitter, yeah, to give you like some insight of like what is happening, but also it's about like how when you talk about the censored country doing censored in censored and essentially committing censored, you're also going to be restricted on like Instagram and YouTube, right? A lot of the videos that I make where I talk about censored, they don't really do that well in the algorithm for some reason. I don't know what is happening, but like for some reason, a lot of like these videos, they for some like I can't put my finger on it, but like for some reason they just never appear in the feed, right? It's suspicious. Obviously, I would never make like come up with like some conspiracy theory, but like for some reason a lot of these things are not pushed as much as like other things, for instance, right? Anyways, I don't want to necessarily talk about like the whole like free speech situation, right? We know that actually free speech isn't what people think it is. Essentially it's just, the people in positions of power, the people who are controlling like all of these platforms and so on, making rules and enforcing it, kind of randomly. When it comes to like Twitch, right? Like their TOS, there were people getting banned for appearing on a panel and making a tier list, but other people can like call for medics being killed in a war zone. That is totally okay, depending on like who the person is who says it and what political views you have, essentially, right? Tecton actually, big fan of the show, actually said it best. You're not considered controversial for just being political. You're only considered controversial if you have the wrong political opinions. Big fan of the show, obviously, Anyways, I don't want to necessarily talk about like this whole situation again. I just want to talk about like the ridiculousness of the situation and also a little bit of like the funny aspects. So to give you a little bit of a backstory of like what happened, what originated this, there was a tweet that I saw. Obviously, a lot of the things are now like, me quote tweeting my now suspended account in order to get like a little bit of engagement. I saw this tweet from Mythic Talent, right? Like the talent agency that Asmongold co-owns, and, probably still co-owns. We have spoken with Asmongold and mutually agreed to part ways. Mythic represents creators from a wide range of backgrounds and perspectives, and we are committed to fostering an environment grounded in respect and responsibility. We remain focused on supporting our creators and continuing our mission to help them build sustainable long-term careers. So essentially, it's kind of like the OTK situation back then, where like Asmongold was saying that like, Palestinians actually do deserve to be, redacted because they come from a inferior culture. And then he stepped away from OTK, but like we all know that like behind the scenes there's still like some royalties. It's essentially like Warner Bros. Saying that like no, this Harry Potter game actually has nothing to do with J.K. Rowling. Please buy our games. Also, the royalties are still going to J.K. Rowling. Right? that's kind of like the situation. Anyways, Kirsche, big fan of the show as well. My favorite anime folk zoo right behind me. What the heck is going on? So I made the mistake of saying you're next. In the sense of like Mythic parting ways with Kirsche, right? But like, I didn't learn my lesson the first time. I didn't learn my lesson the first time when it was with the gamer sub situation, right? I just didn't learn. I just didn't learn. So, fun thing about that, actually, I was next. My main account that is, you know, now in restricted mode, but and it's also like shadow banned and so on. Totally, you know, fine. This like my alt account. They came for my alt account. They mass reported my alt account. I don't know what actually made it so I got suspended, because this is the email that I got. Hello. X reserves the right to permanently suspend accounts that violate the X rules or terms of service without further notice. This account is suspended. Thanks. I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, I woke up to this. Not necessarily to this, but I saw like these things, right? You know, all of the familiar faces posting this. I thought this one was funny, so I posted a video. This was what I posted. Like, Valorant is a dating game. I'm sorry.
With your voice, you know, it's a bit doing something
Seductive. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
Are you gonna behave?
I mean, if you're talking like that, maybe I shouldn't. So there was like the short ride, and so I quote tweeted this and being like, I haven't been put in my place in a while, and it shows. This aged perfectly. This aged phenomenally. Like, that was actually chef's kiss. Not gonna lie. A lot of people were kind of upset that, oh, I'm coming after Kirsche again, right? So there's like this guy, Nicholas Light, you know, friend of GB Reviews, being like, you're not a girl, you'll never be a girl, you'll forever be a man and a while. And it's kind of funny because like while on vacation for my first anniversary with my wife, Mythic Talent, my talent agency, has parted ways with me as well. Rip Bozo, I guess. I was talking about this, you know, like on Twitter. I posted this with like LMAO. I can't wait until your wife parts ways with you as well. My account got suspended. I went on like a little bit of like a crash out. These were like the tweets that like kind of blew up on my alt account, right? So you can like kind of see the difference of like me tweeting on my alt account versus me tweeting on my main, right? This one, transphobia is artificially boosted through bots and algorithms. The existence of trans people is a non-issue in the real world. Billionaires push bigotry because they profit from a culture war. Transphobia is a psyop that distracts you from the elite. Eating babies. 34,000 likes. Trans people. Hi, this is my name. Normal people. Hi, name. Trans folks. No! What is your real biological name? Tell me. Let me see your genitalia. Ah! What did your parents name you? I will just call you mentally ill and some random name that I think fits you. 32,000 likes. Bangers, right? MAGA is dead. Donald Trump betrayed us. Being MAGA means you voted for wars. You voted for billionaires. You voted for trans people to be abused. You voted for women to lose rights. You voted for racism. You voted for political violence. You voted for false, you voted for redacted, you voted for fraud. Transphobes, you make being trans your entire personality. Also transphobes. I'm not going to like read this out loud, but like, you know, many such cases. I think what got me suspended, also these are my nails. I think what got me suspended is this one. I don't think right-wingers deserve to live in a civilized society. Their ideology is based on hatred, oppression, and abuse. They don't care about truth. They want to subjugate those they deem weaker to feel powerful and enrich themselves. This has no place in a just world. Obviously, I made the mistake of saying this about like right-wingers not, you know, belonging in a civilized society. I should have just said like the trans people don't deserve to live. You know, full stop. That would have been fine. That would have been okay. I made the mistake. I'm sorry. I will definitely learn my lesson and phrase things differently next time. I just have like the hunch that this was definitely like one of the contributing factors. I don't know if this is like actually like the tweet. I don't know if there's like something else. I don't know if it was just like the mass amount of reports that my account got. I don't want to come up with like too many theories. I know that like Asmongold made like one remark about, you know, me quote unquote coming for Kirsche again, but he didn't go in like a 10-minute rant, so I feel like I kind of fell off a little bit. I think maybe it's just like fed up with me, maybe it's just like the situation. I don't know, but like I felt like a little bit, it kind of hurt my feelings.
Yeah, this is Nyara. What is Nyara saying? you're next. Like, what is this? You're next. I don't even know. Like, the thing is, like, Nyara is that just goes around and attacks people and makes up lies, right? I mean, that's who this person is. And again, like, there was a bunch of like accusations about them being a groomer and shit like that going around. I don't know really whether those are true or not, but it's a pretty weird thing to say. So ultimately, I just want to get into that, right? I don't want to get into this. I don't want to get involved with this, and that's it.
It's a little bit funny that like he says that like he doesn't want to get involved as if he didn't like actually contribute to all of these accusations and allegations and whatnot. I feel like that's a little bit disingenuous. What I also find interesting is that people make the theory that like, oh, this "you're next" was like so ominous and threatening that this is why my account got suspended. But I actually tweeted this on my main account. This is not a threat. I do not have the power to force a talent agency to part ways with Kirche. I don't know where they're like taking this from. I don't know where they took this from with like, oh, Caseytron came after Mythic and that's why they parted ways with Asmongold. It's like, he's the co-founder of it. And, it's a little bit ridiculous to be like, because this one streamer with like 200 average viewers said something on Twitter, that is why all of these things happen. No, it's because like Asmongold has been getting more and more, mask off, whatever the fuck that means when it comes to this guy. And that's kind of why Mythic was like, hey, it's affecting, the other talents. It's affecting like our standing, our perception, right? Brand perception. So I don't know where these people like take this weird idea from that like we're the ones in control, because we're not. If I had my way back then, right? If I had like this power back then, Kirche would have been dropped by Mythic and Kirche would have been dropped by Gamersubs. If I was truly like this powerful, all I did back then was saying, why is Gamersubs a company that is known for working with like LGBTQ people, right? Like Jayshlat being friends with like a trans person. Why are they partnering with someone who calls trans people AGPs and says shit like, oh, there's a hostile demographic takeover? Because in London, they built a mosque for like some Muslim community with like community funded money, right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to like believe that like we're the ones like in charge with like all of the power. Like, you're the government. You have all of the billionaires. Literally, Elon Musk is friends with Asmongold. They are in each other's DMs. JD Vance retweets Asmongold. Like, do you believe that me with like 100 average viewers has like so much pull behind the scenes that I can pull all of the strings and I can like, determine who deserves the platform or whatnot, right? It's ridiculous. All I'm saying is words. I have a different opinion as them and they don't like that, right? That's what it's about. So yeah, I was like a little bit frustrated with this clip because like, oh, there were accusations about them being a groomer. It's like, who made those accusations? Who made the tweet with like, oh, if you want to play a fun drinking game, search from Yara VT trans kid. Who put words in my mouth with like the thumbnail of like the editor and so on? Who said that I'm going after children? Who said that I'm, doing like gender ideology here and I'm gender confusing children and I'm gender transitioning children? Like, that is all what he does. And it's a little bit disingenuous that he's now like, oh yeah, I don't want to get involved. I don't even know who that person is actually. It's just, I just heard some things. Trans kids exist. I was trans before I heard the term. I was born like this. Acknowledging the existence of trans kids and wanting them to live is not grooming. So that was like kind of the situation around it, and we'll see what happens, right? Like, I appealed my free speech on the free speech app is being limited and being targeted for saying words that people do not agree with. On the other end, they had like one of their guys get suspended for, I guess, copyright or something. I'm not entirely sure. What I found like interesting is like how these people talk to me or like talk about me getting suspended compared to their guy getting suspended, which is always like really, really funny, right? It's like, oh, you deserve to be canceled because you would cancel us. But like, if you want free speech and you believe that free speech means having the ability to say whatever you want, me saying, why hasn't Mythic Talent dropped Kirche yet? is just me saying words and it's an opinion that under your free speech system should also not face any consequences. That's kind of like the thing. You can't just be like, oh no, free speech means we get to do whatever we want without consequences. But when you speak up, when you say something about it, then we're going to bully you into silence. We're going to harass you. We're going to mass report you. And we're going to use everything we have in order to put you in your place, right? In the least fun way possible. But yeah, so this was their guy, you know, GP reviewers reacting to their guy getting suspended. I'm hearing that he got suspended because he was defending fictional characters and anti-censorship. Legit fucked up and hope Twitter fixes this versus me. Rip bozo. It's like a little bit funny to like point out the hypocrisy. There is not a lot that can be done about it because, well, you have a fascist in charge of the government in the US and, you know, a lot of like right-wing pull in other countries, you know, like here in Germany with like the conservatives working more and more with like the far right getting more and more popular because, you know, fascism thrives in times of crisis, and what's, you know, more crisis than World War III coming up. Then you have like all of these billionaires and so on who suppress certain things, certain information. You kind of notice certain patterns when you're like on these platforms, right? Imagine you make like a new account on YouTube. What are the first things that you're going to see? You're going to see a lot of like popular videos. What are a lot of popular things? A lot of misogynistic red pill type of content. You're going to see a lot of like Asmongold stuff, like the Andrew Tate type of videos, right? Especially if your account is being assigned male, you're going to see a lot more misogynistic content, and that kind of pushes you in a bubble. And then you watch the video and then you like interact with it. Maybe you leave a comment. Maybe you didn't even like the video, but you're going to see more of it, and you're not really going to see a lot of like pushback. And that's kind of like how it works on other platforms, right? YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok. You see a lot of the things that align with your algorithm, but a lot of it is incredibly right-wing heavy, and people on the left have to do a lot of censorship. So that's kind of like how these things work. And if you like newly sign up for these accounts, you're going to see a lot of like one thing, and you kind of have to find the content that you like, right? The content that you actually enjoy. You have to dig a little bit more. But if you're just mindlessly consuming, right? Like you go on Twitter, you see a lot of like transphobia. Oh my god, this trans person did something evil. You see like 100 people talk about this, boost it. You see Elon Musk the entire time. And it kind of traps you in these ecospheres, in these echo chambers. And if you do not critically engage with these things, you're going to see more of it. And also, even if you engage with it and you're like, well, this is wrong, you're still going to see more of it because it keeps you on the platform and you interact with it more and more, right? That's kind of like the goal of like the algorithms. It's not designed to actually give you a news source. It's going to like either reaffirm your beliefs, or it's just going to trap you in like this endless loop of having to like defend yourself. People always ask me, why are you even on Twitter? It's because like, hey, I can at least push back against it a little bit because, you know, I get a lot of engagement there. I don't know if it helps that much, but there are a lot of people who tell me that like it kind of helps them feel more seen and sane as well. Obviously, by doing this, I'm always risking, you know, getting banned. I get in the mud and I get dirty as well. That's kind of how it goes, right?
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
All this just because of words. But yeah, these people control everything, literally every aspect and so on, and they still act like victims. They still act like we're the ones in charge and we have like the power. But that's also by design, because like right-wingers are incredibly like hive-minded. The left, we do not have like these power structures. We do not have like thousands and thousands of people with huge platforms like boosting all of these things. We do not have like the financial backing. It kind of sucks because like you look at someone like Hassan and it's like, oh yeah, Hassan is basically like just as big as someone like Asmongold, might be even bigger because of like media reach and so on. But then it's like, okay, you're comparing one person to another person, but what about like all of these other people, right? What about like people like me, people that have less reach than me, versus like all of these people with like 200,000, 300,000 followers and so on, like boosting each other all the time, artificially inflating certain things and like boosting like certain narratives in order to have more people jump and harass people like me, dogpile on me. We do not have like the same, you know, media network. Maybe this is going to change at some point, but as of now, because there's a financial incentive to be transphobic, to be like a shitty person, it's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky to have people actually choose to be good people when it's so tempting to be a piece of shit.